In the rainforests of Madagascar, there's a creature that locals refuse to speak about after dark. A creature so feared that if one points its long, skeletal finger at you, tradition says you'll be dead within a year. Some villages kill them on sight. Others won't even look at them. Parents tell their children that these creatures are demons. Spirits of the dead return to curse the living. But this isn't a myth. This isn't folklore. This creature is real. It's a primate, one of our closest relatives in the animal kingdom. And it might be the strangest, most unsettling mammal you've ever seen. This is the eye, and everything about it seems designed to unnerve you. Those massive, haunting eyes that glow in the dark. Those rodent-like teeth that never stop growing. That skeletal middle finger, thin as a twig, twice as long as the others, with a ball and socket joint that lets it rotate in ways fingers shouldn't move. It looks like something that crawled out of a nightmare, like evolution made a mistake, like nature's version of a horror movie creature. But the eye isn't a demon. It's a lemur, a highly specialized, incredibly intelligent primate that's been solving problems in the Madagascar rainforest for millions of years. And right now, because of superstition and habitat loss, we're watching it disappear. This is the story of the world's strangest primate. The story of how something so remarkable became so feared, and why we need to save it before it's gone forever. Quick thing, if you want to see more incredible animals like this, creatures that sound too weird to be real but absolutely are, hit that subscribe button right now. These videos take serious research, and every subscription tells me you want more, so please, subscribe. Let's meet the eye. Picture a moonless night in the rainforests of eastern Madagascar. The darkness is absolute. The air is thick with humidity and the sound of insects. High in the canopy, something is moving. You hear it before you see it. A tap-tap-tapping sound. Rhythmic, methodical, like someone knocking on wood, over and over. Then you shine your light upward, and two enormous eyes reflect back at you. Orange-yellow, glowing, unblinking. As your eyes adjust, you see the rest of it. A creature about the size of a house cat, covered in shaggy black fur that sticks out at odd angles, making it look perpetually disheveled. The fur is coarse, almost wire-like. In some individuals, the tips are white or grey, giving them a grizzled, ancient appearance. The face is small, almost rat-like, with huge bat-like ears that swivel independently, constantly tracking sounds. The eyes, those huge, haunting eyes, dominate the face. They're forward-facing like a human's, but much larger relative to the skull. In the beam of your flashlight, they seem to glow with an inner light. The nose is small and pink. The mouth, when it opens, reveals something deeply unsettling. Large, continuously growing in sizes, like a rodent's. Orangish-yellow teeth that protrude slightly even when the mouth is closed. But it's the hands that really disturb you. Long, spider-like fingers, thin, almost skeletal. And that middle finger, dear God, that middle finger. It's grotesquely elongated, maybe twice the length of the other fingers, with almost no flesh on it, just bone and tendon covered in thin skin. At the tip, a long, hooked claw. As you watch, the eye taps this finger against a tree branch. Tap, tap, tap. It tilts its head, listening. Those huge ears rotate forward, focusing. Then it gnaws into the wood with those rodent teeth, chews a hole, and inserts that nightmare finger deep into the tree. When it pulls the finger back out, there's a grub impaled on the claw. The eye eats it, then continues along the branch, tapping, listening, hunting. This is how it feeds. This is what millions of years of evolution created. And locals believe if it points that finger at you, you're cursed. Let's talk about what an eye actually is, because Nightmare Primate doesn't quite cover it scientifically. The eye is a lemur. Lemurs are primates found only in Madagascar, a whole branch of the primate family tree that evolved in isolation after Madagascar split from Africa about 165 million years ago. Most lemurs are relatively normal-looking, furry, cute, big eyes, social groups. Think of the ring-tailed lemurs you've seen in zoos or movies. Those are typical lemurs. The eye is not typical. It's so weird that for over 50 years after it was first discovered, scientists couldn't figure out what it was. Some thought it was a rodent because of those teeth. Others thought it was related to squirrels. It wasn't classified as a lemur until detailed anatomical studies proved it was a primate. Even within lemurs, the eye is unique. It's the only member of its family, Daubentonidea. Its closest relatives went extinct, leaving the eye as the sole survivor of its lineage. It's like if humans were the only surviving great apes. No chimps, no gorillas, no bonobos, no orangutans, just us. That's how alone the eye is on its branch of the evolutionary tree. Now, let's break down those bizarre features, because each one has a purpose. Those huge eyes? The eye is nocturnal. It needs to gather as much light as possible to navigate the dark rainforest canopy. Those massive eyes are among the largest of any primate relative to body size. They give the eye excellent night vision. The tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina, is what makes the eyes glow when light hits them. It bounces light back through the retina a second time, maximizing light capture. Cats have this, so do many nocturnal animals. It's why their eyes shine in flashlight beams, or headlights. Those big, independently rotating ears? Therefore, echolocation. Yes, echolocation. The eye is the only primate that uses echolocation to find food. Here's how it works. The eye taps on wood with that skeletal middle finger, about 8 taps per second. As it taps, it listens with those enormous ears for changes in the sound. Hollow spaces in the wood sound different from solid wood. Grub tunnels sound different from empty chambers. The eye is literally using sound waves to create a mental map of what's inside the tree. It's acoustic imaging, like sonar, but with its finger as the source. Once it locates a grub tunnel, it uses those rodent-like teeth to gnaw through the wood. Those incisors grow continuously throughout its life, just like a rodent's, and they're harder than most wood. The eye can chew through bark and wood that would break our teeth. After gnawing a hole, it inserts that impossibly long middle finger, which has a ball and socket joint at the base allowing 360-degree rotation, and hooks the grub with its claw. Then it pulls the grub out and eats it. The whole process is efficient, precise, and deeply unsettling to watch. That middle finger deserves special attention, because it's one of the most specialized appendages in the entire animal kingdom. It's thin, almost skeletal. There's barely any muscle or fat on it, just bone, tendon, and skin. This thinness allows it to fit into narrow tunnels and crevices. It's long, up to 3 times the length of the eye's other fingers. This length allows it to reach deep into wood to extract prey. It has a ball and socket joint at the base, like your shoulder or hip. This allows the finger to rotate in any direction, to probe around inside tunnels, to hook grubs from any angle. The claw at the tip is long and hooked, perfect for impaling soft-bodied larvae. The whole finger is a specialized tool. Evolution spent millions of years perfecting it into the ultimate grub extraction device. But here's the creepy part. When the eye walks, it curls that finger up, holding it away from surfaces to avoid damaging it. So it walks on 3 fingers per hand, with that middle finger held delicately in the air. This makes it look like it's perpetually pointing at trees, at the sky, at you, and in Malagasy culture, pointing is significant. It can be a curse, a threat, an omen. So when villagers see an eye, what they see is a demon-looking creature pointing its skeletal finger at them, and the superstition is born. Let's talk about what eyes actually eat, because it's not just grubs. Their primary food is wood-boring beetle larvae, big, fat, protein-rich grubs that live inside dead or dying wood. The eye's entire feeding strategy is built around finding and extracting these larvae. But they're opportunistic. They also eat seeds and nuts. They can gnaw through the hardest shells. Fruit, especially nectar-rich fruits. Fungi growing on trees, insect larvae of all types, coconuts. They're one of the few animals that can break into coconuts. There's one food item that has caused particular problems: Rami nuts. These are cultivated by farmers in Madagascar for oil and fiber. Aye-ayes love them. They'll raid rammy plantations, gnawing through the hard shells to get at the nuts inside. This has put them in direct conflict with humans. Farmers see aye-ayes as pests destroying their crops. Combined with the superstition that aye-ayes are evil omens, this has led to aye-ayes being killed on sight in some areas. Aye-ayes are solitary and territorial. Adult aye-ayes have home ranges that can cover over 100 acres. Males have larger ranges that overlap with several females, but they don't travel in groups. They're nocturnal, spending their days sleeping in nests high in the canopy. These nests are elaborate constructions made of woven leaves and branches, usually built in the fork of a tree. From the outside, they look like messy balls of vegetation. Inside, there's a cozy chamber where the aye-aye sleeps. Each aye-aye has multiple nests throughout its territory and rotates between them. Why? Possibly to avoid predators learning their location, or to reduce parasite buildup. At night, they wake and begin their foraging routes. They move through the canopy with surprising agility despite their awkward appearance. They can leap between branches, hang by their feet, and navigate the complex three-dimensional environment of the rainforest. As they travel, they tap on wood constantly. Tap, tap, tap. Listen. Move on. Tap, tap, tap. Listen. It's methodical, systematic, almost meditative. When they find food, they stop to feed. The gnawing and extraction process can take several minutes per grub, but each grub is worth it. High in protein and fat, essential for an animal that spends enormous energy navigating the forest each night. Aye-ayes communicate in ways we're only beginning to understand. They make vocalizations, mostly high-pitched squeaks and grunts. Some calls are territorial warnings. Others might be contact calls between individuals. They scent mark their territories by rubbing scent glands, located on their neck and genitals, on branches. These scent marks tell other aye-ayes about their identity, sex, reproductive status, and territorial boundaries, and they might communicate through their tapping. Some researchers believe the patterns and rhythms of tapping could convey information to other aye-ayes in the area. It's speculative, but the possibility is fascinating. Quick reminder, if you're enjoying this deep dive into one of nature's strangest creatures, hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps me keep making these videos. Thanks. Aye-aye reproduction is slow, which is part of why they're so vulnerable to population decline. Females reach sexual maturity around 2 to 3 years old. Males, slightly later. Mating can occur year-round, but there seems to be a peak during the rainy season when food is most abundant. When a female is in estrus, males compete for access to her. These competitions rarely involve physical fighting. Instead, males chase each other through the canopy, vocalize aggressively, and try to monopolize the female's attention. Pregnancy lasts about 170 days, nearly 6 months. The female gives birth to a single infant in her nest. Twins are extremely rare. The infant is born nearly helpless, eyes closed, minimal fur, completely dependent on the mother. For the first few weeks, it clings to her belly as she moves through the forest. Gradually, the infant develops. Its eyes open. Its fur grows in. It starts sampling solid food while still nursing. By several months old, it's riding on the mother's back, watching her forage, learning the skills it will need to survive. The infant stays with its mother for up to 2 years. This long childhood is crucial. The aye-aye's feeding technique is complex and must be learned. The mother teaches by example, showing the infant which trees to tap, how to listen for grubs, how to gnaw efficiently, how to extract prey. After weaning, the young aye-aye establishes its own territory, usually adjacent to or overlapping with its mother's range if female, or farther away if male. Females typically reproduce every 2 to 3 years. This means an individual female might only have 5 to 8 offspring in her entire lifetime. If survival rates are low, populations can crash quickly. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the superstition. In Malagasy culture, the aye-aye is called fadi, a taboo animal. Many local communities believe aye-ayes are evil spirits or demons, omens of death, bringers of misfortune, the souls of deceased ancestors, witches in animal form. The specific belief varies by region, but the core idea is the same. Eyes are dangerous, supernatural, and to be avoided or destroyed. There are elaborate superstitions surrounding encounters with eyes. If an eye points its finger at you, you or someone in your family will die within a year. If an eye enters your village, someone will die. If you see an eye, you must kill it immediately and hang it on a pole outside the village to deflect the curse. Even speaking about eyes after dark can bring bad luck. These beliefs have led to eyes being killed whenever they're encountered. Some communities organize hunts specifically to eliminate eyes from the area. Why do these beliefs exist? Several theories. Their appearance is unsettling. Humans are evolutionarily primed to feel uneasy around things that look almost but not quite right. The eye looks like a primate, but wrong. Distorted, uncanny valley effect. They're active at night. In cultures without electricity, night is dangerous. Things that move in darkness are inherently suspicious. They make weird sounds. Eyes gnaw loudly on wood, make strange vocalizations, and move through trees, creating rustling sounds. In the dark, these sounds can seem threatening. They're rare. People fear what they don't understand. Eyes aren't common, so encounters with them are unusual, memorable events that become associated with subsequent misfortunes. Cultural transmission. Once a belief is established, it's passed down through generations. Children grow up hearing that eyes are evil, so they believe it without question. The tragedy is that these superstitions have real consequences. Eyes are killed not because they're dangerous, they're completely harmless to humans, but because of fear and folklore. If you're loving this weird, creepy, fascinating story, subscribe right now. More incredible animals coming. Hit that button. The eye's relationship with science is almost as strange as the animal itself. When European explorers first arrived in Madagascar in the 1700s, they heard stories about these creatures from local people. Demon monkeys, ghost animals, things that shouldn't exist. The explorers dismissed these stories as superstition until they saw one. The first scientific description of an eye came in 1782, when French naturalist Pierre Sonnerat encountered one and brought a specimen back to Europe. Scientists were baffled. It had primate hands and feet, but rodent teeth. And that finger, what was that finger? Nothing else had anything like it. For decades, the eye was classified as a rodent, then as a squirrel relative, then maybe a bat. The confusion was genuine. This animal didn't fit into any existing category. It wasn't until the mid-1800s that anatomical studies of the skull, teeth, and skeletal structure conclusively proved the eye was a primate, a lemur, but so specialized, so divergent from other lemurs that it needed its own family. Even today, with genetic sequencing, the eye poses questions. It split from other lemurs extremely early in lemur evolution, perhaps 20 to 30 million years ago. It's been evolving independently ever since, becoming more and more specialized for its unique niche. The eye fills an ecological role that doesn't really exist anywhere else in the primate world. In most forests, woodpeckers fill the niche of extracting insects from wood. They peck holes with their beaks, then use their long, barbed tongues to pull out grubs. But Madagascar has no woodpeckers. None. When Madagascar split from other landmasses, the woodpecker lineage hadn't evolved yet. So the woodpecker niche was empty. The eye evolved to fill it. But it did so using a completely different toolkit. Instead of a beak, it uses teeth. Instead of a tongue, it uses that specialized finger. The solution is bizarre, but it works. This is called convergent evolution. Different lineages evolving similar solutions to the same problem. Except in this case, the solution is wildly different. A primate doing a woodpecker's job with tools no woodpecker has. Real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. These videos take serious effort, and your subscription keeps me motivated. Hit that button. Let's talk about the conservation crisis because it's urgent. Ais are currently listed as endangered by the IUCN. Some estimates suggest there may be fewer than 2,500 mature individuals left in the wild. Other estimates are slightly higher, but all agree populations are declining. The threats are multiple and compounding. Habitat loss is the biggest. Madagascar has lost over 90% of its original forest cover. Logging, agriculture, slash-and-burn farming, all of it destroys the rainforest habitat Ais need. Ais can't survive in degraded habitat. They need large tracts of continuous forest with plenty of dead wood for grubs and mature trees for nesting. Fragmented forests don't provide enough resources. Superstition-driven killing is the second major threat. In areas where Ais are considered evil omens, they're killed on sight. Some villages hunt them systematically. Agricultural conflict adds to the problem. When Ais raid crops, especially coconut and rami plantations, farmers kill them to protect their livelihoods. Climate change is beginning to affect Madagascar's forests. Changing rainfall patterns impact tree health, which affects insect populations, which affects food availability. Slow reproduction means populations can't recover quickly from losses. With females only having one baby every 2 to 3 years, even moderate hunting pressure can drive local populations to extinction. Put all these factors together, and you have a species in serious trouble. But there's hope, and that hope comes from an unexpected source, changing hearts and minds. Conservation organizations working in Madagascar have realized that protecting Ais requires more than just protecting forests. It requires changing cultural beliefs. This is delicate work. You can't just tell people your traditional beliefs are wrong. That creates resentment and resistance. Instead, conservationists are working with local communities to reframe the narrative. Some programs highlight the as a uniquely Malagasy treasure, found nowhere else on Earth. A symbol of Madagascar's special biodiversity, source of national pride rather than fear. Connect conservation to economic benefits. Ecotourism brings money to communities. Tourists will pay to see rare animals like Ais. Villages that protect Ais can benefit from tourism revenue. Work with respected community members. When village elders, traditional healers, or religious leaders speak in favor of protecting Ais, people listen. Conservation groups partner with these influential figures, provide alternative income. If farmers lose crops to Ais, compensation programs can offset losses. This reduces the incentive to kill them. Education programs in schools teach children about Ais's ecological role. Kids learn that Ais eat insects that would otherwise damage trees, that they're endangered and special, that superstitions are old stories, not facts. Slowly, attitudes are changing. In some communities that once killed Ais on sight, people now protect them. It's not universal. Many areas still cling to traditional beliefs, but progress is happening. There's a famous named Tonks who lives at the Duke Lima Center in North Carolina. She's become something of an ambassador for her species. Tonks was born in captivity as part of a conservation breeding program. She's been studied extensively, helping scientists understand behavior, cognition, and biology. But more importantly, she's changed minds. Thousands of people have seen videos of Tonks tapping on wood, using her finger to fish out treats, interacting with enrichment devices. They see her not as a demon, but as a clever, curious, somewhat goofy animal. She's adorable in her weirdness. Watching her walk with that finger held up, watching her giant eyes track moving objects, watching her gnaw through bamboo to get at food inside. People fall in love with her. This is the power of individual animals in conservation. One well documented and shared widely, can shift perceptions more effectively than statistics about population decline. The Duke Lima Center, the Bristol Zoo in England, and a few other facilities maintain populations and breeding programs. These programs serve multiple purposes. Genetic reservoir. If wild populations crash, captive populations preserve genetic diversity that could be used for future reintroduction programs. Research. Captive aye-ayes can be studied in detail. Scientists learn about their diet, behavior, reproduction, and intelligence in ways that would be impossible in the wild. Education. Zoos and research centers use aye-ayes to teach visitors about Madagascar's unique wildlife and conservation challenges. Advocacy. Successful breeding programs demonstrate that aye-ayes can thrive with proper care, countering beliefs that they're inherently cursed or wrong. Breeding aye-ayes in captivity is challenging. They're solitary and territorial, so housing multiple individuals requires careful management. Females are picky about mates, and the long gestation and slow reproduction mean breeding programs produce offspring slowly. But it's working. Captive populations are slowly growing. Knowledge is accumulating. If wild populations continue to decline, these captive animals could be the difference between survival and extinction. In Madagascar, there are a handful of protected areas where aye-ayes still exist in relatively healthy numbers. Andasibe Mantadia National Park in eastern Madagascar is one of the best places to see wild aye-ayes. The park protects large tracts of rainforest and enforces anti-poaching measures. Night walks in Andasibe sometimes reveal aye-ayes in the canopy. Tourists, guided by local naturalists, watch in amazement as these bizarre creatures tap on trees and extract grubs. The tourism revenue supports conservation and provides income to local communities. This creates a positive feedback loop. Protect the forest, aye-ayes survive, tourists visit, community benefits financially, community supports protection. Other protected areas include Rano Mafana National Park, Mananara Nord National Park, and several smaller reserves. Together, these areas preserve critical habitat and serve as strongholds for aye-aye populations. But protected areas alone aren't enough. Aye-ayes need forest corridors connecting reserves. They need buffer zones around parks where human activity is limited. They need community buy-in to prevent poaching. Let's talk about aye-aye intelligence, because it's remarkable. In captivity, aye-ayes have demonstrated problem-solving ability. They can figure out how to open complex puzzle feeders, manipulate mechanisms, and access hidden food. Tool modification. Some aye-ayes have been observed modifying their feeding technique based on the task, using their finger differently depending on the size and location of food. Memory. They remember where they've found food before and return to productive areas. They remember which trees have grubs and which don't. Learning from observation. Young aye-ayes watch their mothers and learn techniques. This is cultural transmission, knowledge passed between generations through teaching and observation. Innovative behavior. One captive aye-aye learned to use its finger to fish food out of a narrow tube, a task it would never encounter in the wild. This shows flexible, creative thinking. Cognitive tests suggest aye-ayes are among the more intelligent lemurs, possibly rivaling some monkeys in problem-solving ability. This intelligence makes sense. Finding grubs inside wood requires sophisticated sensory processing, decision-making, and motor control. The aye-aye must listen to subtle sound differences, interpret those sounds to build a mental model of what's inside the tree, decide where to gnaw, and execute precise extraction movements. That's not simple. That's complex cognition in action. Can you eat aye-aye? Technically, yes. Historically, some people in Madagascar have eaten them. But should you? Absolutely not. First, it's illegal. Aye-ayes are protected under Malagasy law and international treaties. Hunting, killing, or possessing aye-ayes is a criminal offense. Second, they're endangered. Every individual matters for the survival of the species. Third, there's no nutritional reason to eat them. They're small. Most of the body is fur and bone. There's very little meat. Fourth, the cultural and scientific value of aye-ayes alive is immeasurably greater than as a food source. Some traditional medicine practices have used aye-aye parts, but there's no scientific evidence for any medicinal properties. It's superstition, not science. The only reason aye-ayes are eaten today is either ignorance of their protected status or defiance of conservation efforts. Conservation groups work to stop this through education, enforcement, and providing alternative protein sources. If you're still watching and haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. It genuinely helps. Thanks. So why does the II matter? Why should we care about saving something so strange, so unsettling, so far away? Let me tell you why. First, there's the evolutionary argument. The II represents an entire family of primates, Daubentoneidae. It's the only living member. If it goes extinct, we lose an entire branch of the primate family tree. This isn't like losing one species among many closely related ones. This is like losing the last elephant, or the last whale, or the last human. It's a unique lineage that can never be recreated. The II's ancestors split from other lemurs 20 to 30 million years ago. Since then, they've been evolving in their own direction, becoming more and more specialized. The result is an animal unlike anything else on Earth. That finger, that echolocation ability, that combination of primate and rodent-like features, once it's gone forever. No amount of scientific advancement will bring it back. We're watching a unique experiment in evolution, a primate that became a woodpecker, and we have the choice to preserve it or let it disappear. Second, there's the ecological role. IIs control insect populations. They eat thousands of wood-boring beetle larvae every year. Without IIs, these beetles would proliferate, damaging and killing more trees. They also disperse seeds. When IIs eat fruit, they travel through the forest and defecate the seeds elsewhere, helping plants spread and regenerate. They create holes in trees that other animals use. After an II gnaws through bark to reach grubs, those holes become access points for other insects, fungi, and small animals. They're ecosystem engineers, modifying their environment in ways that benefit other species. Remove IIs from the forest, and the ecosystem shifts, maybe not dramatically, maybe not immediately, but the loss is there. The forest becomes less diverse, less complex, less resilient. Third, there's what the II teaches us about ourselves. The II's plight is a story about fear and superstition versus knowledge and understanding, about how traditional beliefs can conflict with conservation, about how education and cultural change can save species. It's a case study in conservation ethics. How do we balance respect for cultural traditions with the need to protect endangered species? How do we change minds without being disrespectful or colonial? The work being done in Madagascar, partnering with communities, involving local leaders, framing conservation in culturally appropriate ways, is a model for other conservation challenges worldwide. If we can save the II, we prove that even deeply entrenched superstitions can be overcome, that education works, that people can change, that hope exists even in difficult situations. Before we wrap up, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. It really encourages me to keep making these videos. Every subscriber matters. Hit that button. Fourth, there's the wonder factor. The II is weird. Fascinatingly, wonderfully, unsettlingly weird. It expands our sense of what's possible in nature. When you learn about the II, about how it evolved that finger, about how it uses echolocation, about how it fills a woodpecker niche as a primate, you realize how creative evolution can be. How many solutions exist to the same problem? How strange and beautiful and bizarre life can become. We need weird animals. We need creatures that challenge our assumptions and make us think. We need reminders that the natural world is stranger and more interesting than we imagine. A world with IIs in it is a more interesting world than one without them. So what can you do to help save IIs? Here are concrete steps. Most people have never heard of IIs. Share this video. Tell people about them. The more people know about IIs, the more support there is for conservation. Several groups work specifically on lemur and II conservation. Lemur Conservation Foundation, Duke Lemur Center, Research and Breeding, Madagascar Fauna and Flora Group, Wildlife Conservation Society, Madagascar Program. These organizations work on the ground, protecting habitat, working with communities, conducting research. Madagascar's economy depends partly on exporting products like vanilla, coffee, and spices. Buying certified sustainable products supports farming practices that don't destroy forest habitat. Never buy exotic pets, traditional medicines, or products made from endangered species. Demand drives illegal trade. Visiting Madagascar responsibly generates income that supports conservation. Local communities see economic value in protecting wildlife. If you go, hire local guides, stay in locally owned accommodations, follow ethical wildlife to viewing guidelines. If you're a teacher, include AIs in lessons about biodiversity, conservation, or Madagascar. If you're a parent, share this video with your kids. If you're just passionate about wildlife, talk about AIs with friends and family. Climate change threatens Madagascar's forests. Supporting policies and organizations that fight climate change helps AIs and countless other species. There's a bigger picture here worth discussing. Madagascar is one of the world's biodiversity hotspots. It's home to thousands of species found nowhere else on Earth. Over 90% of Madagascar's wildlife is endemic, unique to the island. But Madagascar has lost most of its forest. Poverty drives deforestation as people clear land for agriculture. Political instability makes conservation challenging. The problems are immense. Yet conservation is working in some areas. Protected areas exist. Reforestation programs are planting millions of trees. Community-based conservation is empowering local people to protect their environment. AIs are what conservationists call a flagship species. They're charismatic in a weird way, unique, and endangered. Protecting AIs means protecting entire forest ecosystems, which saves hundreds of other species, many of which we haven't even discovered yet. Save the AI, save the forest. Save the forest, save thousands of species. It's interconnected. It's all part of the same fight. Let's talk about what the II teaches us about fear and difference. The II is persecuted because it's different, because it doesn't look like other animals, because it makes people uncomfortable. Sound familiar? Throughout human history, we've feared and persecuted things that are different. People who look different, act different, believe different things. The impulse is the same. Unfamiliarity breeds suspicion, suspicion breeds fear, fear breeds hatred. The II's story is, in a way, a story about prejudice, about how appearance and unfamiliarity can lead to persecution, about how superstition can override reality, and about how education, exposure, and understanding can change minds. When people learn about IIs, when they see them not as demons but as clever, adapted, unique animals, attitudes shift. Fear becomes fascination, hatred becomes wonder. That's a lesson that extends beyond conservation. It's a lesson about how we treat anything different from ourselves. There's hope for the II, real, tangible hope. Populations in protected areas are stable. Breeding programs are successful. Some communities that once killed IIs now protect them. Education is reaching more people. Awareness is growing. IIs aren't doomed. They're endangered, yes. Threatened, absolutely. But not beyond saving. Every year, more people learn about them. More tourists visit Madagascar hoping to see them. More students in Madagascar grow up knowing IIs are special rather than evil. More villages see economic benefits from protecting rather than killing them. Change is slow. Conservation is hard, but it's happening. The II has survived for millions of years. It survived climate shifts, natural disasters, and the evolution and extinction of countless other species. It's a survivor. Now, it just needs us to give it a chance. Somewhere in Madagascar right now, as the sun sets and darkness falls over the rainforest, an II is waking up. It stretches in its nest, that shaggy black fur catching the last light filtering through the canopy. Those enormous eyes blink open, adjusting to the darkness. It emerges from the nest and begins its nightly journey through the trees, moving carefully along branches, that skeletal middle finger held aloft. It finds a promising tree and begins to tap, 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 listening, processing, calculating. It gnaws a hole, inserts that specialized finger, and pulls out a grub, eats it, moves on. This II doesn't know it's endangered, doesn't know that people fear it, or that others are working to save it. Doesn't know that half a world away, people are watching videos and learning its story. It just is, doing what AIs have done for millions of years. Surviving, adapting, living, and as long as we protect the forests and change the narratives, it will continue. That tapping sound will echo through Madagascar's rainforests for generations to come. The II will persist, strange, wonderful, unsettling, and absolutely irreplaceable. Thank you for learning about the II, for caring about it, for being here. If this series moved you, inspired you, or taught you something new, subscribe to the channel, share these videos with others. Leave a comment about what animal we should cover next. Together, we can make sure the II survives. We can turn superstition into appreciation. We can preserve one of evolution's strangest experiments. The II, bizarre, brilliant, endangered, and worth saving. Until next time, keep exploring, keep wondering, keep caring about the wild, weird, wonderful creatures sharing this planet with us. See you in the next adventure.